Welcome back, viewers. Today, we're looking at 4 special pennies released during one of the most important celebrations in modern American coin history. Millions of these coins entered circulation, and most people spent them without a second thought. But hidden among ordinary examples are rare varieties, unusual minting errors, and collector favorites that have surprised the coin market with impressive values. In this video, you'll discover the stories behind these unique designs, the details collectors search for, the errors that can increase value, and why some examples have attracted serious attention over the years. One of the coins later in this countdown may surprise you more than all the others. Now let's start with the first coin. This first coin might look like a simple penny that has spent years moving through circulation, but many collectors continue searching through old jars, drawers, and collections, hoping to find an example connected to this famous design. At first glance, it may seem ordinary. The surface may show scratches, contact marks, small spots of discoloration, and other signs of handling. Most people would never imagine that a coin like this could attract serious collector attention. The coin we're talking about is the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial 1 cent, featuring the birth and early childhood design. This special reverse design was created to honor the early years of Abraham Lincoln's life in Kentucky. The example in today's story does not carry a mint mark and shows clear evidence of circulation, including spotting and surface marks that developed through years of use. To understand why this coin became so important, we need to travel back to 2009. That year marked the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was also the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent itself. To celebrate these milestones, the United States Mint released 4 special reverse designs throughout the year. Each design represented a different chapter in Lincoln's life and journey. For collectors, this was an exciting moment. Instead of seeing the familiar Lincoln Memorial reverse that Americans had known for decades, people suddenly began finding completely new designs in circulation. Many saved examples immediately. Others spent them without realizing they were part of a historic series. The first design in the program focused on Lincoln's birth and early childhood in Kentucky. The reverse depicts a simple log cabin surrounded by the natural landscape of the frontier. The image reflects the humble beginnings that later became an important part of Lincoln's story. When Americans first saw this design in circulation, many were surprised. It looked different from the pennies they were used to seeing. Some began collecting the entire set of 4 designs. Others simply enjoyed finding them in pocket change. Today, collectors continue to appreciate this design because it represents the beginning of one of the most influential lives in American history. The obverse remained familiar. Abraham Lincoln's portrait continued appearing on the front of the coin, maintaining a connection with generations of Lincoln cents that came before it. The coin itself was struck using the standard composition used for modern Lincoln cents. Although it looks like a copper coin, its composition includes a zinc core with a thin copper plating. This combination allowed the mint to continue producing cents efficiently while maintaining the familiar appearance Americans expected. Now let's talk about condition. The example in today's story is circulated. Small scratches can be seen across the surface. Contact marks from years of handling are visible. Areas of spotting and discoloration have developed naturally over time. These features tell the story of a coin that performed exactly as intended. It circulated, it changed hands. It moved through stores, banks, restaurants, and businesses. It became part of everyday American life. Many collectors enjoy coins like this because they carry visible evidence of their journey. Every mark represents part of a history that can never be fully reconstructed. Of course, condition remains important. Uncirculated examples typically show stronger details, brighter surfaces, and original mint luster. These coins generally attract higher values than circulated examples. However, rarity, collector demand, and unusual features can sometimes outweigh condition alone. This is where things become interesting. Collectors examining 2009 bicentennial cents often look beyond simple condition. They search for unusual characteristics that may separate one coin from thousands of others. One area of interest involves doubled dies. When elements of the design appear doubled due to the die creation process, collectors immediately pay attention. Strong examples can become highly desirable because they are significantly scarcer than ordinary coins. Another area involves die cracks. These raised lines develop when minting dies begin to fracture after repeated use. Some are subtle, others become dramatic enough to attract immediate attention. Many specialists enjoy collecting these examples because they reveal part of the minting process itself. Collectors also search for die chips and die breaks. These unusual features occur when small portions of the die become damaged. The resulting coins display raised areas that can make them stand out from normal examples. Off-center strikes remain another exciting possibility. When a coin blank enters the striking chamber incorrectly, part of the design may be missing from the finished coin. Such errors are visually dramatic and often attract strong collector demand. Clipped planchets also remain popular among error collectors. These occur before striking takes place, creating coins with missing sections along the edge. Because the error is easy to recognize, collectors often seek them out. Strike-through errors can be equally fascinating. These happen when foreign material comes between the die and the coin during production. The result is a unique appearance that instantly distinguishes the coin from ordinary examples. What keeps collectors searching is the possibility that unusual discoveries continue waiting to be found. Imagine opening an old coin jar that has been sitting untouched for years. You begin sorting through the pennies. Most appear ordinary. Then one bicentennial cent catches your eye. Maybe the strike looks different. Maybe a design element appears doubled. Maybe a feature stands out that you have never seen before. Curiosity takes over. You start researching. You compare examples. You look more closely. Suddenly, a simple penny becomes far more interesting than you ever expected. Moments like that are what make coin collecting so exciting. Every collection contains possibilities. Every coin tells a story. Every discovery starts with someone paying attention. Now let's talk about value. A normal circulated example of this design is generally affordable and easy to find. Millions were produced, and many remain available to collectors. However, the story changes when important varieties, major minting errors, and elite collector specimens enter the picture. As collector interest in the Bicentennial series has grown, demand for unusual examples has increased as well. Rare doubled dies, dramatic striking errors, and exceptional certified coins continue attracting strong attention whenever they appear on the market. Competition can become intense when advanced collectors pursue particularly desirable pieces. That demand has helped push values higher for important examples associated with this design. Some remarkable collector specimens connected to the birth and early childhood Bicentennial Penny have achieved values exceeding $125,000, especially when major errors, rare varieties, or exceptional characteristics are involved. Think about that for a moment. A coin worth 1 cent, a coin many people ignored. A coin that may still be hiding inside a forgotten collection. Yet under the right circumstances, it can become one of the most exciting discoveries a collector could make. That possibility continues inspiring people to search through old pennies today. The beauty of this hobby is that treasures do not always announce themselves immediately. Sometimes they hide in plain sight. Sometimes they wait quietly inside a coin jar. Sometimes they sit unnoticed for years before someone finally recognizes their importance. And believe it or not, the next Bicentennial Penny takes us into another chapter of Lincoln's life. and certain examples connected to that design have generated even greater excitement among collectors. Now moving on to the next coin. But the next coin is where things get even more interesting, because this design tells the story of a young Abraham Lincoln during a period of growth, learning, and determination. At first glance, it may look like just another circulated penny that has spent years in pockets, cash registers, and coin jars. Yet certain examples connected to this design have attracted surprising attention from collectors, and some have generated values that few people would ever expect from a 1-cent coin. The coin we're exploring now is the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial 1 cent, featuring the formative years design. This is the second design released during the Bicentennial program, and the example in today's story does not carry a mint mark and shows signs of normal circulation. When people first discovered this design in 2009, many immediately noticed that it looked very different from traditional Lincoln cents. Instead of a building or a national symbol, the reverse portrays a young Abraham Lincoln sitting on a log while reading a book. Beside him rests a rail-splitting tool, reminding viewers that Lincoln worked hard during his youth while also pursuing knowledge whenever he could. That image tells a powerful story. Lincoln's early life was not easy. He grew up in a frontier environment where opportunities were limited. Formal education was scarce, and much of his learning came through personal effort. He borrowed books, studied whenever possible, and developed a reputation for curiosity and determination. The Mint selected this design because it represented an important stage in Lincoln's journey. Before he became a lawyer, before he entered politics, and before he became President of the United States, he was a young man striving to improve himself through education and hard work. That message connected with many collectors. For the first time in decades, Americans could find a circulating penny that told a specific chapter of Lincoln's life story. Many people began saving examples immediately. Others searched for complete sets of all 4 bicentennial designs. Today, collectors continue appreciating this coin because of both its historical significance and its place within the special 2009 series. The front of the coin remains familiar. Lincoln's portrait appears on the obverse just as it has for generations. The combination of the classic portrait and the special reverse creates a unique coin that stands apart from ordinary Lincoln cents. Like other modern Lincoln cents, this coin was struck using a zinc core covered by a thin layer of copper plating. While it maintains the traditional copper-colored appearance Americans recognize, the internal composition differs from earlier Lincoln cents produced decades ago. Now let's talk about condition. The example in today's story circulated through everyday commerce. It may show light wear, small contact marks, and signs of handling from years of use. These features are completely normal for a coin that spent time moving through circulation. Many people assume circulated coins have little importance. Collectors know that is not always true. Condition certainly affects value, but unusual characteristics, collector demand, and rarity often play equally important roles. Some of the most exciting discoveries involve coins that circulated for years before someone noticed something unusual. That possibility keeps collectors searching. Imagine receiving change from a store and spotting one of these bicentennial pennies. Most people would barely glance at it. A collector might look closer. Perhaps the strike appears unusual. Perhaps the lettering looks different. Perhaps a small detail catches their attention. Those observations can lead to discoveries that transform an ordinary penny into something much more interesting. Collectors studying this design often search for doubled dies. When parts of the design appear doubled because of the die creation process, collector interest can increase dramatically. Strong examples remain highly desirable because they are significantly scarcer than ordinary coins. Die cracks also attract attention. As minting dies wear over time, fractures can develop. These appear as raised lines on the finished coin. Some cracks are subtle, while others become dramatic enough to be noticed immediately. Many specialists enjoy collecting these examples because they reveal part of the minting process and create unique variations within the series. Die chips and die breaks remain another fascinating category. These occur when small pieces of the die become damaged. The resulting coins display unusual raised areas that can make them stand out from standard examples. Off-center strikes continue attracting strong interest as well. When a coin blank enters the striking chamber incorrectly, part of the design may be missing. The result can be dramatic and visually impressive. Error collectors often compete aggressively for strong examples because each one is unique. Strike-through errors remain popular among specialists. These occur when foreign material comes between the die and the coin during production. The resulting appearance can create unusual patterns that immediately distinguish the coin from normal examples. Collectors also watch for clipped planchets. These errors occur before striking and result in coins that are physically missing part of their edge. What makes the search exciting is the fact that discoveries continue happening. Old collections are still being opened. Coin jars are still being examined. Inherited albums continue revealing surprises. People still find unusual examples years after the coins were first released. That possibility is one of the reasons coin collecting remains such a fascinating hobby. Imagine sorting through hundreds of pennies late one evening. Most seem ordinary. Then a formative year's bicentennial cent catches your attention. You notice something different. Maybe a letter appears doubled. Maybe the strike looks unusual. Maybe an unexpected feature stands out under magnification. Suddenly, your search becomes much more exciting. You begin researching, you compare examples, you learn more about the coin, and before long, what seemed like an ordinary penny becomes the most interesting coin in the collection. That sense of discovery is difficult to describe until it happens. Collectors understand it immediately. The possibility of finding something rare keeps the excitement alive. Now let's discuss value. A normal circulated example of the formative year's design is generally easy to obtain. Millions were produced, and many remain available to collectors today. However, important varieties, major minting errors, and elite collector specimens exist in a completely different category. As interest in the Bicentennial series has grown, demand for unusual examples has increased significantly. Collectors actively search for rare varieties and error coins connected to these designs. Whenever exceptional specimens appear on the market, competition can become intense. Strong doubled dies attract attention. Major striking errors often generate excitement. Rare certified examples can become the focus of serious bidding among advanced collectors. That combination of rarity and demand has helped push values higher for important examples. Some extraordinary collector specimens associated with the formative year's Bicentennial Penny have achieved values exceeding $185,000, particularly when significant minting errors, rare varieties, or exceptional characteristics are involved. Think about how remarkable that sounds. A coin worth 1 cent. A coin many people spent without hesitation. A coin that might still be hiding in a forgotten collection. Yet under the right circumstances, it can become one of the most desirable discoveries a collector could hope to find. That possibility is exactly why collectors continue examining bicentennial pennies today. And believe it or not, the next coin takes us into another important chapter of Lincoln's life, where ambition, determination, and opportunity came together to shape the future president of the United States. This next penny tells a very different story. The first two coins focused on Lincoln's early years, his childhood, and his determination to learn. This coin moves us into a completely new chapter of his life. By this stage, Abraham Lincoln was no longer a young boy studying by candlelight. He was becoming a respected professional, building a career, gaining experience, and preparing for the path that would eventually lead him to national leadership. The coin we're looking at is the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial Penny, featuring the professional life in Illinois design. This example does not carry a mint mark and shows clear signs of circulation from years of everyday use. At first glance, it may seem like an ordinary penny. The surfaces show wear. The coin has moved through circulation. It has been handled countless times. Most people would never stop to look at it. Yet collectors know that some of the most interesting discoveries often begin with coins that appear completely normal. When the United States Mint introduced this design in 2009, many collectors immediately recognized its importance. Unlike the earlier designs that focused on Lincoln's youth, this reverse celebrated the years when Lincoln was building his career in Illinois. The image shows Lincoln standing before the Illinois state capitol. The design symbolizes ambition, growth, determination, opportunity. It represents a man preparing for a future that nobody could fully predict at the time. That historical connection makes this coin special. Many Americans know Abraham Lincoln as the 16th President of the United States. Fewer people stop to think about the years before the White House. Before the presidency came years of hard work, years of learning, years of public service, years of professional development. This coin captures that important period. Collectors appreciate the design because it tells a story that is often overlooked. It reminds people that great achievements rarely happen overnight. They are built through experience, persistence, and dedication. The obverse remains familiar. Lincoln's portrait continues to appear on the front of the coin, just as it has for generations. The reverse, however, creates a completely different feel from traditional Lincoln cents. That uniqueness helped attract collector attention when the series was first released. Many people began saving examples immediately. Others searched for complete sets. Some ignored them entirely and spent them like ordinary pennies. Years later, collectors continue examining these coins closely. The example in today's story circulated through everyday commerce. It may have traveled across multiple states. It may have passed through thousands of transactions. It may have spent years inside cash registers, pockets, coin jars, and bank rolls before finally attracting attention. That journey becomes part of the coin's story. Every mark reflects movement through history. Every scratch reflects use. Every worn detail reminds us that this coin fulfilled its original purpose before becoming collectible. Many newer collectors focus only on pristine examples. Experienced collectors often take a broader view. Condition matters, but rarity matters too. Collector demand matters, minting errors matter, unique varieties matter. Sometimes the most exciting coin in a collection is not the brightest one. Sometimes it is the coin with the most interesting story. This brings us to one of the reasons collectors continue searching through 2009 bicentennial cents. The possibility of finding something unusual. Collectors carefully examine the professional life design, looking for doubled dies. These varieties occur when elements of the design appear doubled because of the die creation process. Strong examples can attract significant attention. The reason is simple. They are much scarcer than ordinary coins. Collectors also search for die cracks. Over time, minting dies experience enormous pressure. Small fractures can develop. These fractures leave raised lines on finished coins. Some are subtle. Others become dramatic enough to catch attention immediately. Die chips remain another popular category. When small pieces of a die break away, unusual raised areas can appear on the coin. Collectors enjoy studying these examples because each one reveals part of the minting process. Off-center strikes continue generating excitement as well. When a coin blank enters the striking chamber incorrectly, part of the design may be missing from the final coin. The result can be visually dramatic. Many error collectors actively search for these pieces because they are immediately recognizable. Strike-through errors remain another fascinating possibility. These occur when foreign material becomes trapped between the die and the coin during production. The resulting appearance can create unusual patterns that make the coin unique. Clipped planchets also attract attention. Before striking occurs, a production issue can create a coin blank with part of its edge missing. Once struck, the error becomes permanent. Collectors often find these examples fascinating because the mistake is easy to see. The exciting part is that discoveries continue happening today. People still find unusual bicentennial cents. Collectors still uncover varieties. New examples continue appearing in collections that have not been examined for years. Imagine opening an old coin album inherited from a relative. Most of the coins seem familiar. Nothing stands out. Then you notice a 2009 Professional Life Bicentennial cent. Something looks different. Perhaps the lettering appears unusual. Perhaps the strike seems stronger than expected. Perhaps a feature catches your attention under magnification. Curiosity begins to grow. You start researching. You compare examples. You learn more about the design. Suddenly, a simple penny becomes the center of your attention. That experience is one of the reasons people fall in love with coin collecting. The hobby rewards curiosity. The hobby rewards patience. The hobby rewards observation. The next great discovery often belongs to the person willing to look a little closer. Now let's talk about value. A normal circulated example remains affordable and easy to find. Millions were produced. Many still survive. However, important varieties and major minting errors tell a completely different story. As collector interest in the Bicentennial series continues growing, demand for unusual examples remains strong. Rare double dies attract attention. Significant strike errors generate excitement. Exceptional certified specimens often become the focus of intense competition. When supply remains limited and collector demand increases, values can rise dramatically. Over the years, some extraordinary collector specimens associated with the professional life in Illinois Bicentennial Penny have achieved values exceeding $175,000. Think about that, a penny, 1 cent. A coin most people would barely notice. Yet under the right circumstances, it can become one of the most exciting discoveries a collector could make. That possibility keeps collectors searching. Every coin jar becomes interesting. Every inherited collection becomes a mystery. Every old penny becomes a question waiting to be answered. And believe it or not, the final bicentennial penny in today's countdown takes the story to its ultimate destination. It represents the moment when Abraham Lincoln reached the highest office in the nation, and certain examples connected to that design have become some of the most talked about coins in the entire bicentennial series. And this final coin might surprise you the most, because it represents the final chapter of Abraham Lincoln's incredible journey, a journey that began in a humble frontier cabin and eventually led to the White House. While millions of Americans have seen this penny, very few have stopped to consider that certain examples connected to this design have become some of the most sought-after coins from the entire 2009 Bicentennial series. The coin we're talking about is the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial Penny, featuring the presidency in Washington, D.C. design. This example does not carry a mint mark and serves as the fourth and final design released during the bicentennial program. For many collectors, this coin feels different from the moment they see it. The earlier designs tell the story of Lincoln's childhood, his education, his professional growth, his rise through public life. This final design brings everything together. It shows the United States Capitol dome under construction, symbolizing one of the most difficult and important periods in American history. That image was not chosen by accident. During Lincoln's presidency, the nation faced enormous challenges. The country was divided, uncertainty filled the future, and many people questioned what would happen next. Yet despite those difficulties, construction of the Capitol dome continued. The message was powerful. The nation would continue moving forward. The Union would endure. The future would be built despite the challenges of the present. That symbolism makes this coin especially meaningful to many collectors. Unlike ordinary circulating pennies that simply serve as currency, this design tells a story of leadership, resilience, and national purpose. When these coins first entered circulation in 2009, millions of Americans encountered them in pocket change. Some immediately recognized the design as part of the bicentennial program. Others spent them without a second thought. Years later, collectors continue searching for examples, not just because of the historical significance, but because certain examples have developed strong collector interest. The front of the coin remains familiar. Abraham Lincoln's portrait appears just as it has for generations, yet the reverse creates an entirely different experience. The unfinished Capitol dome immediately captures attention. It invites curiosity. It encourages people to think about history. It connects a small 1-cent coin to one of the most important periods in American history. That connection helps explain why the Bicentennial series remains so popular today. Now let's talk about condition. The example in today's story circulated through everyday commerce. It may show signs of handling. It may display contact marks. Small scratches may be visible. The surfaces may have changed over time. Yet those characteristics do not erase the coin's story. In many ways, they add to it. Every mark represents movement through history. Every worn area reflects years of use. Every sign of circulation reminds us that this coin lived the life it was designed to live before becoming collectible. Many people assume that only perfect coins deserve attention. Collectors often know better. Some of the most important discoveries begin with coins that appear completely ordinary. That possibility keeps people searching. Collectors examining this design often focus on rare varieties and unusual minting characteristics. Doubled dies remain one of the most exciting possibilities. When elements of the design appear doubled because of the die creation process, collector interest can increase dramatically. Strong examples are scarce. Demand remains strong. As a result, values can rise significantly. Collectors also search for die cracks and die breaks. These occur as minting dies wear under tremendous pressure. The resulting raised lines and unusual features can transform an ordinary coin into something far more interesting. Die chips remain another area of interest. Small die defects can create unusual raised features that specialists actively search for. Off-center strikes continue attracting attention as well. These dramatic errors occur when a coin blank is not positioned correctly during striking. The result can be visually impressive and immediately recognizable. Error collectors often compete aggressively for strong examples because no two are exactly alike. Strike-through errors create another layer of excitement. When foreign material becomes trapped during the minting process, unusual patterns can appear on the finished coin. These unexpected features often make the coin unique. Collectors also examine examples for clipped planchets, weak strikes, and other unusual production characteristics. What makes all of this exciting is the fact that discoveries continue happening. Every year, every month, sometimes every week, collectors continue finding unusual bicentennial pennies in places where nobody expected them. Old collections, coin jars, inherited albums, bank rolls, forgotten storage boxes. The search never truly ends. Imagine opening a collection that has remained untouched since 2009. You begin sorting through the coins. Most appear ordinary. Then you find this final bicentennial design. The Capitol dome catches your eye. You decide to look closer. Perhaps the strike seems unusual. Perhaps a design element appears different. Perhaps a hidden feature emerges under magnification. Suddenly, a simple penny becomes something much more interesting. That moment is difficult to describe. Collectors know it immediately. The feeling of possibility. The excitement of discovery. The realization that something ordinary may not be ordinary after all. Those moments keep people passionate about the hobby. Now let's discuss value. This is where the final coin truly earns its position at the top of today's countdown. A normal circulated example remains affordable and widely available. Millions were produced. Many still survive. However, elite collector specimens, major minting errors, and rare varieties belong to an entirely different category. As interest in the Bicentennial series has continued growing, demand for exceptional examples has increased as well. Collectors compete for important discoveries. Certified examples attract attention. Rare errors generate excitement. Significant varieties become the focus of intense bidding whenever they appear on the market. The combination of historical significance, collector demand, and limited availability has created remarkable opportunities for exceptional examples. Over the years, some extraordinary collector specimens associated with the presidency in Washington, D.C. Bicentennial Penny have achieved values exceeding $185,000. Think about that for a moment. 1 cent. A single penny. A coin that many people ignored. A coin that may still be sitting unnoticed in an old collection somewhere. Yet under the right circumstances, it can become one of the most valuable and exciting discoveries connected to the entire Bicentennial series. That possibility is what makes this hobby so fascinating. Treasures do not always look valuable. Important coins do not always announce themselves. Sometimes the most remarkable discoveries hide in plain sight, waiting, unnoticed, until someone decides to take a closer look.